5 years ago, since my near-death experience, I thought it's time that I share my journey up till now. And, many people I've spoken to have said, wow, like you need to share your story, your journey. It's amazing. And it took me a while to really take that in and feel worthy or honorable to share a lot of what I've been through. So I'm going to really go from my childhood up until this point and how I've got here. And yes, my near-death experience. And I'm making this, showing you this for inspiration, because my life has not been easy. I'm not perfect by far. And I hope to inspire others for you to know that you are worthy, and your dreams are your dreams that can become a reality and deserve to become a reality. So I'll start from a young age. I did not have my parents around, really. And when I did, my mother came around, a young teenager, or not quite a teenager, and she had addiction problems, and she does again. And my parents, I do not know where my parents are. They are homeless. So I haven't spoken to them for many, many years. And we were in a religious home, and I've always had gifts, which we all have in our own way, right? But I have always been psychic, could see things, and get things coming through. So we were in a religious home, and it was shunned. And well, it was both. When I would tell people these things, they would say, oh, that's not real, that's the devil, or there's something going on. And other people would come to me asking about what's going to happen with this, and asking me these questions. And as a 10-year-old, 11 maybe, I didn't have answers. And so I turned off those gifts, if that's what you want to say. I stopped telling people about it. I asked for it to stop, and it mostly did. Until I became a teenager. Well, my mom fell into relapse again, and I was adopted by my grandparents. And a whole change, a whole move. I myself changed a lot. I had a lot of trauma from all that, and I was slowly working on it. And now later on, after my near-death experience, I have worked a lot on it. But yes, so with my mother and her relapse, there was a lot of abuse. Abuse took place there. I was abused, and in different ways. And yes, so I was adopted by my grandparents, and that kind of changed my life around in different ways. But then I became not religious and nothing. I just didn't believe in anything. I didn't believe in anything. I studied a lot of different religions. I was very drawn to Buddhism, so I did look into that stuff, but I didn't believe in anything. I don't say I was anything, not atheist, agnostic, any religion. I just wasn't anything. I didn't believe in anything except the mind and the physical. And what really I was more, I'll believe it when I see it, right? So now, fast forward, I had kids, and I've got 3, and they all, with my second one, I started receiving messages. My gifts opened up again, right? I like to I like to compare it to like an antenna or dialing a channel and tuning into a channel, right? And well, I started channeling and getting all that coming through. He was kind of a catalyst for that. He's gifted as well. And my third son, I had pretty much right after my second. So this is the one I had the near-death experience with. And during that pregnancy, it was not a good pregnancy. I did not feel right, not healthy at all, but I had all my children natural, but I ended up having to go to midwives at a hospital, and did end up delivering my third son in the hospital because of some issues, but they didn't think there was anything really going on. And so, but I knew deep inside there was. But after delivery, a few days after delivery, I ended up in the hospital. My blood pressure was like 185 over 135. It's called postpartum preeclampsia. And most people do not survive. It's a 99% death rate. That's a whole story in and of its own. But my NDE changed my life. It changed my life. It opened me up. I was given the messages. These are the main messages here that I was given. To live life. We are here to live and be free, to be happy, and also healthy. Because when we're not at our best, when you are not at your best, when we're not at our best, we can't be our best for ourselves and others around us. And so really loving yourself and taking care of yourself, living while you are here to the fullest. You never know how many days you have left. And so living freely, happily, and with those you love, sharing, right? Some main key words I got was community, connection, cosmos, family, and to love. And that has grown for me, just the love, period. When I was in that space in my NDE, and so now I do believe in angels. I get messages from Yeshua, from Mother Mary, from the Buddha, from beautiful teachers. And I was also, that's it. I was told you need to share your gifts. You know, you've got the second chance. You need to do what you're here to do. Be who you are in your authenticity and your truth. And so, and it took me a while to find out about what all this was, what just happened to me, and what are my gifts? What am I called? You know, these kind of things. So I did go through mentorship, and I did go to groups and speak with others about it and share. And so a lot opened up for me. And it's always a learning and growing journey. We are never done learning and growing and expanding. So I still am. But that was my real big kick to find out all about what this was I was experiencing, who I am, what these gifts are. And but in that place, that unconditional love, and I can't describe in words how magnificent and pure and unconditional the love is, which I see as God. God is love, this place, and we directly can connect to it. That is our essence and who we are. And this is what I've grown to learn, is we are that love, and to be that love. We come from it and we are it. So I had my NDE and much changed my life. So 5 years ago, and a couple years ago, about 2 years ago, you know, I was just learning, growing, and meeting others. That's what I had been doing. Well, a couple years ago, I was called from the ancestors, from God, to start healing waters. Now, it was my ex at the time and my children, and we all set off on well, the plan was land, which we thought, but no, God had other plans. We were led and ended up traveling in an RV, RVing, all of us, and led to certain spots of water, doing water healing and meeting people along the way who, they were meaningful meetings. They have been and still are. They're just people who needed healing along the way as well, and who also I was able to get help from. You know, as I helped, I also received help. And so, yes, and never knowing exactly where we were going, just going with the flow and where we were called to certain spots to do healing water work, healing the land. And about over a year ago, I had a humongous dark night of the soul, if that's what people call it nowadays, dark night of the soul, right? A big breakdown. And me and my fiance at the time, we broke up. Still have 3 kids, you know, and I went through this phase of the dark night of the soul where I felt so alone, where I was questioning everything. How could all this happen to me? I've been doing what I'm supposed to. How could this happen? I didn't want to connect. I was very, very, very in a emotionally and mentally and physically dark place. You know, depressed, sad, angry, everything. And I was stuck there for a little bit. It wasn't too long, maybe about a month. And then finally I started coming out of it. A lot of things were revealed, and I started coming out and started asking, okay, please guide me, please tell me, what am I here? And I just started asking and praying, and it all came. You know, not all at once, and not exactly as you think when you pray, that you just get an answer right here and now. No, at least for me, it was very gradual. There were things that kind of epiphanies, but it was more like gradual picking up and putting the pieces together. And, you know, now, and as time has gone on, I realize because that was for my best, because since that, I have had so much growth and expansion that I can't even put into words how much I have grown and expanded since just that. Like, each moment has its humongous growth, expansion. And, yes, so that was a definite test of faith for me. And since then, and this is what I say, my faith is unwavering. That shield of faith is very strong and mighty in me from that experience. And I trust the angels, my guides, God, Great Spirit. I trust this, the center. And I started, so then after my dark night of the soul, okay. After all that happened, yes, exponential growth. So, you know, I had to figure out life, what I was going to do, where I was going to go. I got my own little camper, and started and still traveled. And we kind of just stayed close to each other, and I would continue doing what I needed to do, and, you know, his own thing. And I really started diving into self-love and self-care, really started diving into that, and that hugely opened up so many more doors, coming into self and directly connecting with God Elohim and the oneness Elohim, and just aligning with truth love, and all that goes with love. And I did experience the twin flame. I met my twin flame, twin soul, and experienced that. And that is part of my journey as well. And yes, and that unconditional love, that love I've felt with another person. And it's similar also to when you first have your child, a baby, when you first hold that baby and that love is just flowing through. And we are meant to continue to experience that love. We are meant to continue to experience that in our lives. And that's the beauty, and that's what most people are missing. It's not a fantasy. It is true. And this is what bringing in the new is as well. It's based in love, in the heart, in the center, and centered in the center. Now on my journey, I want to say I have had no money. There have been times that I've been poor, and I grew up that way, so partially. And I've had money and I've not had money. And I have found that this is what matters. The riches that we have, the treasures we have are right here, held in our heart, held in our wisdom, and they're held in the soul. This is what truly matters. And I still go sometimes with no money. Sometimes, yes, that's part of the trust on this journey. The spiritual journey and the spiritual awakening, and everything in life truly is spiritual. And that's what our ancestors taught as well, that we are one. We are one with the earth. We are one with each other. We are one with the cosmos. And it even shows in our DNA. It shows in our energetic field. It can be shown and proven. And much of what is actually real is not seen, but so much is felt. And that's why I am so keen on the soul and following your heart and soul, because that is the truth. That's the true essence of you and I and this God, love, the soul. And so it's just so much wider and more expanded than you can ever imagine, like what's out there for you, who you are at your core, what gifts you have, what beauty you bring to the world, your soul shine. And that's what I'm here and I do, to teach and guide, to bring your soul shine out. Follow your heart and soul. Live in love, in beauty, in heaven on earth. That was one of the big things they told me too. You're here to show and share heaven on earth. Experience it in your life and show others they can too. So I will end this here now. So if you would like any sessions or services, I give guidance, messages from your angels, past loved ones, ancestors, sessions, healing sessions to get deep and to help acknowledge and heal traumas, and as well as mentorship, teaching how you can get on your path and follow your heart and soul, your soul shine, what sings to your soul, as well as meditations I've got as well. And you know what, so much more in the works, because there always is. But I wish you so much love and many blessings. You can, oh yes, my website, ambercelestialangel.com. Bye all.